Hi everyone, today we're going to answer the question, is print-on-demand quality really bad? People are always telling me that print-on-demand quality is really bad, so I want to talk real facts here, and we're going to talk about how to decide if print-on-demand is right for you or if you need to go with traditional printing. The problem here is that many people are saying POD quality is bad. I think the truth is that it depends on a lot of factors here, and you can find quality products before you launch a shop. These anti-POD folks are really missing out on the hands-off beauty of running a shop that pays the bills while you make art and you don't worry about shipping or printing items. I'm Liz Kohler Brown. I'm a surface designer and hand letterer who loves helping people find their style and sell their work. I recently realized that a huge number of people who watch my videos are not subscribed, and that's really surprising. You'd think if someone liked a video, they would click subscribe, but I think we just forget to click subscribe, right? So if you enjoy my videos, if you want to see them show up in your feed, go ahead and click subscribe. That tells YouTube, hey, this person makes good videos and other people should see it. So if you think other people should see my videos, go ahead and click subscribe. Thank you. So where did this rumor start about POD? I have noticed some inconsistent messaging online. There are some rumors, there's some old news from industry experts with some outdated information. And I think some people have just had past experiences with older POD tech that definitely was low quality. I think some are comparing it unfairly to luxury retail or offset printing. And some people are just not testing their products before they start selling and then ending up with bad results. I've made a lot of those mistakes, and I've actually worked at a POD company, so I know what it takes to build and produce POD products. And I can tell you from experience, there are so many variables, there are so many different types of products and printing processes, so we simply cannot say a whole industry is bad. It really comes down to a product by product, company by company basis. So let's talk about how to figure all that out. First of all, these big variables are important to understand. POD quality varies widely. Some products can rival like boutique retail. Some manufacturers differ with their materials, their color calibration, their quality control. And not to mention, the POD technology is improving really quickly. There's new machines coming out, there's better inks, there's better papers. I really think that POD, even 3D printing is the future, because companies are getting tired of getting these massive pieces of inventory in their stock and then not being able to sell them all. And licensors, a lot of them are moving to POD. They're just realizing it makes more sense, it's more cost efficient, it actually ends up being better for the customer in the end because they can pay less. Everybody wins, I think. It's not for everybody, I'm not going to say that, but there are a lot of cases where POD can be great for both you and your customers. We always have to think about the quality versus the affordability, and what do your customers care about more. Not all POD companies are equal, of course. Some examples here, you might find like a high-end art printer that does giclée museum quality paper prints. And then you might find a different POD company that does everyday products like apparels, mugs, and notebooks. As you're looking at these products, you're going to want to compare things like paper stock, the sharpness, the packaging, the color accuracy, and the consistency across orders. Before I started designing calendars, I probably ordered 30 different calendars from different companies because I care a lot about paper thickness. I want to know how it's going to feel. I want to know what's going to happen when you write on it with different devices, and how big is this going to be, how true are the colors going to be to my original colors. If you order this same print from 10 different companies, it's going to look a little bit different with each one, and my goal is to find the one that presents my work in the most professional way. No pixelation, I like the sheen, all of those things are important. So you really have to hold those products in your hands in order to get all of that stuff ironed out before you truly choose a product for a shop like Etsy or Shopify. So testing is really key here. Even within one company, the products will differ in terms of quality, and a company's prints might be amazing, but then their mugs might fade. So I like to test categories or products individually. Like with the wall art, you might look at paper texture and saturation. With calendars, you might look at how they're binding it and is it aligned properly. With fabrics, you might do a wash test, put it through the washing machine, see how the color fades after you wash it and dry it a few times. Note here that a great company does not equal a great product across the board. You can actually connect different POD providers to your Etsy shop. You could have 10 different POD providers if you wanted to, so that you can pick and choose the product that is perfect for you based on your desires and the things that you really care about with your work and your products. And I always order samples of the products before launching anything, because you don't want to be sending bad products to people and then managing bad reviews. You can also compare across multiple POD providers and check for color accuracy versus your original design. I always just lay the design out and check the colors. There's sometimes some print alignment issues. The packaging may not be very good. The durability may not be good. Try scratching it. Try rubbing it with something and see what happens. And I always take photos and notes because it's so easy to forget what you did, and then create a little spreadsheet or a Word doc with all of your quality log notes. I want to mention here that I do example unboxings of products like these inside my membership, so you can come watch them all with a free trial, which will link right below this video. I've done Printful, Printify, Gelato, Art of Wear, and Printed Mint, and I have more planned for the future. I've learned so many interesting things doing these unboxings. For example, I wanted to do mugs once, and I ordered mugs from all the different companies, and it was kind of shocking how different the results were. Some of them, the color was so spotty and weird, and then I put it through the dishwasher and it got scraped up. Others have stood the test of time, and I'm still using them. A couple years later, like the mug is still doing great, and I've scrubbed it with a scrubber and it's fine. So I want to know that if I'm going to send people a product, it's going to last, and it's not going to be something that they use once or twice and then my design starts chipping off of it. So I do all those tests, I rough it up, I see what it's like to really be a customer of my product before I go to all the trouble of launching it. Because when I talk about launching it, I'm talking about writing the titles, tags, and descriptions, taking pictures, taking videos, making the listing. This can take days, you guys, and you don't want to put any work into something like that you haven't fully vetted yourself. So when I'm doing this listing process, my goal is to professionalize it. Of course, POD does not equal luxury, but it should be professional. We can be honest about our production. I always list that it's printed to order with archival inks, but I do recommend using your photos instead of those company mock-ups that they always show you, because customers know that that equals cheapness. The goal here is to position your product for what it is: artisanal, made to order, and unique. Artists aren't the only ones who feel that POD is cheap. Customers are feeling it too, and they are seeing, when they log into something like Etsy, all these fake looking mock-ups with all this fake looking AI art on it, and they're tired of it. They want real art from a real artist on a real product. And so when you go to the trouble to take some beautiful photographs styled with, a pencil, a cup holder, a beautiful mug, something to give it like a lifestyle feel. I like to use a wood table to give it a little bit of grit, but again, that depends on your style, of course. I just think that process of getting the product, really having it in your hands, taking gorgeous photos in natural light, it can't be beat. There's no mock-up that's gonna do as well as you taking a real photo and giving it real heart and soul with your objects and your style and your colors. So I always do that. I spend a whole day when I'm listing a few products at a time. I'll spend the entire day taking pictures and then do some editing and make them into listings. So here's an example plan that you could use if you want to start selling print-on-demand products. First of all, pick 2 to 3 companies like Gelato, Printify, for example. Choose 1 to 2 products per company, print the sample artwork on all of them and compare. And then write all your findings in a spreadsheet because it's easy to forget that stuff. And then choose your best matches. And remember, if you just want to see all the products that I like to sell and that I've already tested, you can go inside my membership with that free trial and watch me unbox some things from my favorite print-on-demand companies. I hope what you take away from this is that your job as a seller is to test, compare, and choose intentionally. When you do, you can build a shop that feels curated and reliable. You should do what you do best, making art, not being an everything bagel of business owners, like shipping and packing and all the things that go along with that. It is not a badge of honor to be the janitor of your business, meaning you do everything in your business and you're not leaving yourself enough time to make art. For me, this is the beauty of print on demand. You don't have to do everything. You don't have to be everything, including the shipper and the packer and the receiver of complaints about bad packing and shipping and the person who pays when things are lost. It's like all of these issues that come up when you're trying to be the everything bagel of business owners. And in the meanwhile, you'd like to be making art, right? You'd like to be being creative and getting into your creative groove, but you've got all of these tasks to take care of. For me, at this time in my life, I've got kids, I have a business, I want to be a good wife and a daughter and a mother and all these things. I don't have time to pack boxes, y'all. I'm not going to the post office. I'm not doing all those things. And I love it. I absolutely love every single time my POD company ships something for me. And I just say, that's something I didn't have to do. And I have a happy customer. So that's what it's all about for me. I hope this has inspired you to give POD a try if you've been afraid of it or you've been fearing that it's just bad quality. So if you liked this video, you might also like my video on the only POD platform that shows you what is selling, where we talk all about this platform that gives you so much great data about what items are selling. Also, I share about how I've sold over 1,500 calendars on Etsy using POD. I didn't ship a single one, and I can easily scale my whole calendar operation by just designing more calendars and not by shipping lots of units.